May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offering, confession, rejoicing, requesting, and praying, I dedicate it for the complete awakening of all beings. Lord, Great Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Damalord Gampopa, Pamadrupa, and Lord Drikungpa. I pray to all the Kaju Lamas. From his guru, King Serlingpa, he received the nectar medicine of bodhicitta and brought benefit to all sentient beings. I pray to glorious Satisha. From now until I attain enlightenment, may I also practice the three precious lineages, and through this may I perfect sublime bodhicitta and bring benefit to others with my bodhicitta. In all my lives, may I never be separated from the perfect Guru. May I enjoy the glory of the Dharma, perfect the qualities of the bhumis and paths, and quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Saye boche choje meto cha Rida Nije Nide Shenbadi Shila Mede Bhavadi Dokananda Shindu Cheva Sho Gusan Yonzo Lame Shonala Chinang Samson Deishin Nije Cho Da Le Long Chu Nansi Yonje La Me Cho Ding Uru Sartu So. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I visualize and offer these as Buddha fields. May all sentient beings be born in the Pure Lands. I offer to gurus of three kayas complete outer, inner, secret, and suchness offerings. Taking my body, wealth, and all that there may be, I pray, please grant the unsurpassed Supreme City. Om Guru Deva Dakine Mandala Soha Semchen Namje Zambata Loye Jidra Jidawa Chechon Tumo Deva Chujin Kordo Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. 당가도 내려 마티 뉴네 테키고 제 로주다스 리두스 다 로주 디스 마모도 와테니 나다 게노 마베 모르주 디사스 마르슈나로와 와테네
Geht es schon schädlich der Natur, geht mit schon.
신나스면 체지마도 와타니 그들이
So.
와테네 다 게노 마베 모케 로주 마르데 슈나로와 제단 다 제단이나 로주나 자마 마모 로주 다 상마 슈야 수소요 말바 와테지 게노 마베 모 로주 마르데 슈로와 당게 마자가 키유라 우르장 키자로 엔레버드 세제 요레스 엔라버드 와테 엔라버드 세텔라 제모제 요레스 미 메인티를 하참 링미 가라 라브레스 링미 가라 와테 kuzo 제보 레다 제 요레스 마야 와테네 타게 jantian mambo zai kita zumo dero zai nomo da jabres te kong pebyo mares tene guno chungni sadu te cho chi ya tang go zo nambe cho te so da rekine mambo zai lobjong chi o te lobjong chi te lu chi res te guno jurnga slabdi tene lower san zeni dokja je zai khna sa dokja je na res o tene yutra ta jena se khasa bane sen do 어제는서 카사반에 그랑제 요르세 와트라라 손에든 다제 나양 타픽 라만 제쇼세데 소르바다브레스
So first I thought I'm going to start with a little history of the Nyungne practice. And so regarding the Nyungne practice, there is of course much to be said and many accounts to be told, but we are short of time. So I thought of just briefly telling the story of Gelongma Palmo. And so Gelongma Palmo was born in India as the daughter of the king Indrabodhi. Her name was the Princess Legme Ankara, and she was extremely beautiful. And many men wanted to marry her, but she had no interest. At the age of 12, she had already begun to practice the Dharma, and she had studied already many various fields of Dharma knowledge. And then by the time she turned 15, she was suddenly struck by leprosy. And in that land, there was a temple, a Chinrezig temple, in the Kasapani temple, Chinrezig. And so she went there and prayed, may I encounter a true guru who can show me the way. So,
tene da tara te gong nye de du te torang la malam da wang te morang shi ya da te inda ba tse nwa te yin ser ba de buk chung chung je wo la kwa shirka tingwa ki des hon ba to des chung des wo ti kar la sa na ta ho mo chu je dang ta na sa du ja ne ma an ze ne ne me ki le res wo te du gar chana da je dang le te gar ba den de kan sa je res天对真的讲，他今天是要不 drop us，我真的讲让特别从这种 drop 个的，我真的让我在马上去那边的。
and so at that temple, she slept at the temple door, and she had a dream. And in that dream, one night, her father, Indra Bodhi, appeared to her, but in the form of a young boy holding a crystal mala. And he said to her in that dream, you have leprosy because of your past karma, but you have the fortune of encountering Chenrezig. And so therefore, if you practice Chenrezig, then your wishes will be accomplished.
我真的当然做的，这当你一些呢，他马上你一些的话，你一些对的，学给他的，但是龙班的了，既然是全国的开发那么需要的些，我真给家去，真对去的，是这吃饭这头，吃饭这强大都是主要的是，我提起，他就让龙班你去，拿了也配的了，龙班你去配的，
Sorry, Chana Karegi Druparis?
强大都是。
Oh,
청나들이
mhm,
주발에서 근데
mhm.
되게 잡아디 칼라르스 나 저는 농번이 피야르송다 근데 상지 오파미 주가지 요레스 디 많이 카르랍스네 베이징 오롭스 어디 농바 네 표시오레스 대류 농도 대안레스 어디 농대도 되네 뭐 대라마 베이징 오롭도 디 자르송레스 어디 랍 총네 다 게노마 베모스 데 다레스 게마 링미 가라로
Then she woke up from that dream, and then that morning she started to look for a guru, a lama who would be able, who is skilled in the teachings of the Dharma, the cycle of Chenrezig. So she asked around like who can I get it from? And then heard there was this monk who is an emanation of Vajrapani. So she went there, and this monk then told her there is someone else who is an emanation, a master who is an emanation of Amitabha. His name is Bigi Ngudrup. You should go there. So this is how she received sort of her prophecy. And so she went there, and she met with this emanation of Amitabha, Bigi Ngudrup. And then under him, she became ordained, and that is then where she received the name Gelongma Palmo. Before that, she was it like a gamma, like shigama? What is it?
링미 가라로
Like Megara. And so and then started with being ordained, she became known as Gelongma Palmo.
근데 달라마티 군들라 제란세 차통 전통 마농 매가 섬지 슈리스 저는 장매 칸바로 다자 칸바로 테리나한테 제란세 냠내 진다와 솜 스냠내 지레스 저는 냠내 저 지도다 용기도 만나서도 도우드라 솜배 도우솜 수포 참마자 그새 답샤라 나지 테루 강에 쇼르 다파 내리고 싶다 팅마라로 라fin 팅마세 내리고 싶어 체로치 tendu ta dongal be tan be mesi te mona thojo wan chong te la me chu ya kundu da ja de te ne la ma la ta je tang ga na cha ne yo cha ya ze pen ya da ma da la be sa ye dams na ro chi ze shu re es
So then she practiced first from this Lama, she received all the empowerments and the instructions on the thousand armed Chinrisic practice. And then she went to practice. She stayed in a grass hut and she practiced there Chinrisic for 3 months. And during this time, actually, the sickness even got worse. It worsened. And it got so bad that it felt like iron nails were being driven through her body, and her fingers started to fall off, almost fall off. So she felt very discouraged and sad. So she went to see the teacher, the guru again, and said that, please give me the instructions of a special yidam practice that will lead to like a quick healing of my illness.
tene la ma ti khar song sa na ta jeton lo de sa da ta so ke ndu ya la jenen tu jenen sai juk che she juk che yo de la sa yo ma re es ina ta choran de la ma do sha sho par le kara shin kher se ze yo re stra song wa tra la ta jenen sai kha sa pa ne la khang so re tra song de jenen sai nyam le chi se wa de long de tian es.
And then to that, he said that so there, in order to tame the diseases and then evil influences, spiritual harm, and so on, the best method is Chinrisic, the 11 phase Chinrisic, and there is no better method than that. But don't stay here. Go to a place in the east, a place called the Nekara Shimpel, and there you will find the Kasapani Chinrisic temple. Go and practice there. That was his prophecy.
tene ta sha sho la son sha ma dun son de ta go ma ze shen je chung de la nie res tene no cho urgen yo yo yin se de kan ro ma ro ni sa se je res ta ni sa se de ma lam da sa ta de ru da se je de ge no ma be mo khala se china son kan ro yin na nga ta ta la le kara shin pyer se de ya le ya ngo ro se na ro chi se kyu res 어떤 칸으로 맞아서 준준다 시리 양데 뭐 바레 카라신 베스트라 지레 어떤 레디 남자 코야다 레 남자 코야다 레 텐 디스퓨네 된 칸으로 봐 예스레스
So then she went traveling east for 7 days. And on the way, one night, she slept under a tree. And again, she had a dream. It was sort of like a dream. And in this kind of dream-like vision, 21 red dakinis appeared from the western land of Udiana. And Yeloma Balmo said to them, if you are truly dakinis, then give me the city to bring me to this place. Was it Lekara Shimpel, right away, quickly. Bring me there right now. So then those Dakinis performed a miracle and transported her there instantly. And then when she arrived, she made an offering of some robes and some rice, and then the Dakinis disappeared.
tene la kan di na ya chundu na chi res ko nya ti chira pami res ni ne zemo res zeni na sa jab res de ma do andra do ma go se pu res se chiro ma go don res la kan nan do ma chu res tene la kan je lo tra la ti za ka ma da so de show da ni je ni ne chi ni ma je Nyungne chi ten ti jin lo som sa da drop res
Mm. So then she came to that temple, and she wanted to enter the temple, but then the gatekeeper stopped her from entering and didn't let her in. So he said that, for one, you are a woman, and on top of that, you have leprosy. So you're not allowed here. Leave. Yeah, so he asked her to leave. So she left, and with nowhere to go, she settled uh, close to the temple, behind the temple, in a small grass hut, and there she began practicing sets of Nyungne, so doing a day of Nyungne and then followed by Nyungne. She practiced these sets of Nyungne for 3 years there.
대 공화 대 뭐랑 컴비나로 오 칸데란다 통레스 대류 단 야매양 주와 인세 복싱게 총데레스 총레스 대를 게노마 베모 팔라브레스 칼라르스나 다 치나데 다다가 상지야 뭐로 나노 치즈 슈레스 대 슈두스네 복티 칼라르스나 다 최소 상제 삼지 두개 뭐 제나세 주케 켄데 데라 다 드롭다 치나 로 구간라 대 상제 공방 톱 투게레스 대류 종레스 세종네 대 게노마 베모 제간 드스리비제 샤레스 대리 파 통지메 샤레스 티 남랑도 있네 나사 상마차 녜마레 탄 제사 나바야 샤 소소 녜만 제샤 대류 차데레스
So then one night, as she was in her grass hut, one night the grass hut filled with light, and to her appeared an emanation of Manjushri riding on a lion, and she said to him, "Please grant me the city to attain enlightenment quickly." And then that boy, it was an emanation of Manjushri, he replied, and Chenrezig is the essence of all the Buddhas of the 3 times compassion. Just practice Chenrezig. Continue to practice Chenrezig for 9 years. Then you will reach enlightenment. And he then placed some nectar on her tongue and then disappeared. And after that, her body was completely healed and actually even more radiant and healthy than before falling ill.
근데 다데 대 뉴네 진의 로고 스트로베 스타 로고 스트로베 된 사간다베 키츠 세제이네 지투들마트 현재레스 다들이 세바지라 제나세 통요 샤파세제 요사라
Il y a une question qui est
매고 봄에 여보 삼마레 매고 봄에 여보 삼마레 내가 그 충정되나 단데 편치도 가게가 내가 다 되는 지었습니다.
Parla che sia che ci sono this mata sorry.
네. 근데
Sorry, 이래나 코모도. 네 니마 담보라 사가 다바테니 드마 캡송 되니 티치라.
사간데 세제라
티치라라.
세바제라 지주들 마시에세레세. 세바지라 제란세 통요 샤파세진도 마르원네 제란세 통요 샤파세. 어테시에세레세. 어테세 주는가라 다 작통제통 오수 단제레세. 뭐지 전에 디제 게노베메 게노마베 뭐 가르치유리잖아. 어당아 유릉보 조빈스 주 다바스 전에 시에메 통화베 메시 투기에 총스 어제나 투기에 총스 유리스 제나색 나 담보 코너 초랑냠 제바메 초랑냠도 요스 초랑게 제바체는 가 만통레스 다 로중니스 꿈도 되네 고암가 안데 세치도 되네 다다다 제바타네 등가 통레스
So then she practiced Nyungne for 9 more years, and then after that, on the first day of the Sakadawa month, Tara appeared to her directly, and then on the 8th day, she saw Chenrezig in the form of the Dunri Shakya. That is a kind of a red Shakpa, Dunri Shakpa, in red color. And then on the 15th day, she directly saw the 1,000-armed Chenrezig himself. And when he finally appeared to her, she said to him, "I've practiced you for so long, and why have I not seen you until now? You have not appeared to me until now. You must have no compassion for me." And then Chenrezig replied, "I have been with you from the very beginning, inseparable, but you couldn't see me because of your obscurations. But because you practiced and you recited the mantra for these 12 years, finally your obscurations have been completely purified, and therefore now you're able to see me directly."
真的，他这里他给侬嘛，真的，他既然是既然是个网络名啊，他嘛那，给侬嘛，别么巧跟我说头上街，我把上街他娘把小的是，
Then Chinrisic then bestowed on her all the empowerments, transmissions, and instructions. And then in the end, she attained the supreme city. She reached complete enlightenment.
真的他给侬嘛，别么来钱的嘛，大家说这就咱们这个就那就咱们这有了，才拿起这咱们来去进入，就咱们这啥厂嘛老嘛个话，去当就咱们这种这有了，天哪，没这说的有了哇，真的咱们他厂嘛老公推出当个嘛玩意说。
And so then the practice of this tradition, this lineage of Geloma Baomo was then also transmitted through the Jikun Kagyu lineage. So we practice it according to this tradition in the lineage. And we don't have time to go into much detail, but you will find all the names of those lineage masters in the lineage supplication prayer.
真的，真的啊，他Nyungne现在他年现在你家出去了，所以啊，东把是中国去了，你们下去了。这东把来个托，现在他东把托吧没错，他没给我帮没给我帮，也是给帮呢，他做他没给我帮，没给我做，没给我帮，这是。这帮了，这也拉，所种也拉鸡，些有了吧？所种也拉鸡，长波他所出解决嘛的，所出没当。吞入了说别说，他就把怕说，他那在身前穷原因呢，他不是引起，像他说嘛去过的是，这样那唐伯起，你把这国家就嘛的是，他那子穷国家就嘛，现在往这家了穷人呢，可能呢，他嘛提供那样别讲的新论的嘛这呢，他往新老嘛这呢，他没先别往东说去啊嘛的是，你把这国家没讲完。松帕这没上没就把这也是，没上就嘛了，这没都被他们叫去呢，真的这给家也养着我的，听着其他有嘛的也是，真的这国口都养着我，他听着其他有嘛的也是，他松帕这转了哇他转了拉没过把去，他转没拉不起的哇，松帕没拉西瓦的哇，西瓦这转没拉不去。他们这忙的，是差不多在各个都要这忙的，就往样的这有了。听着那比较嘛，所以穷那比较嘛的也是。在西巴的话，我把这下的强就是说就嘛的是。在那一天强头在帮忙，现在强也是领着头的话，他没他这块的话强，听同学嘛是国话中，这是啥样嘛的也是。真的，特别是在人工药上那在什么？사죠 맞지. 일단 인공티 알아서 인공 칼라테 같이 사는 게 그래와. 와전에 사죠 말레스 전에 사죠 말레스 주변에서 말레스 상효된 상효 자린 와 자다 양대 상 들고온다 자들이 다 들고온다 배 상이나 상이를 왕아서 년내에나 상이라서 이나다 배 장다 시나 효기의 춘통 쇼리 대 투생도 개자 인 안지 효리 와티와티 디스 개자 초당 투비 개자 유 난지 효리 전에 다다디 공다다니 코사나 전에 나니 단용내라고 니 코사나 야 쇼기니 세두 대 사야 아마 통야 요 말했네 같이 치고로와 와테레스 선이 나데 제 차는 춘정을 통쇼거레스 어제 한 신도한테 라반도 원들 사죠 말했어 스카스 대야 원래는 사죠 말했어 어제 추바레스 한 둔바들라 상다 둔바들 천통부강 대죠 말했어 천통부 림보체 체이나 축강 토산 시강 대죠 말했어 둔바真的结巴这开始呢，他结巴等确保起来的嘛头，确保起来的嘛头的，这路去路人样的，卡尔西亚的，然后呢，就他们到捡钱咱们多样种的，人们去在咱们他在有让在说写当样种咱们样种，他就当就嘛是绿的在，他直接当起呢这些不种在咱们的很久嘛就嘛不出要嘛东巴来说，这是重要，这他结巴的也是。 that's my lotion. What is that? Nyungne la ji, so what is about that? Song go for it. That choose you service of don't bat your sarva. Network for what sunny base and should do basses. Lana, the non should do bowers, the nigger, what is jail on Nyungne land over. The hunt, the snake.
So now we come to the vows. So we are taking these vows are referred to the Nyungne and the Nyingne vows, which are actually kind of one day vows that we take for a period of 24 hours. So we take certain vows, but not just vows. There's also certain things that we need to like we take vows and we practice certain virtues and we abandon certain non-virtuous actions. And so the discipline is based on what is called the 8 branches of the Sojong, the 8 Sojong vows. And the first one of these is to not kill, so to not take the lives of others. So that means no obvious like a murder of someone, but not even like a tiny like squishing a tiny insect and so on. So not to take the lives of others. Then the second is not stealing, and that is so not outright stealing, like taking something that really belongs to somebody else, but even if it's a small thing, like if, for example, even if it's the leaf of a tree, if that belongs to someone else, then you shouldn't take it. And then number 3 is to avoid sexual misconduct, and that is to avoid any actual sexual activity, but even, for example, talking in a flirtatious way or in a kind of desirous way. So even like flirtatious looks and conversations are not allowed. And then number 4 is not lying. So not saying any outright lie, but not even jokingly, not even like lying, like making jokes that are not true. And then number 5 is to not drink any alcohol, any intoxicants, and not to eat any meat. And so now that refers to any kind of alcohol, and even kind of the leftover from brewed beer, for example, like kind of the remnants of that. So no alcohol, and in meat also is included no garlic and no onions. And then next and 6, there is no eating after midday. So that's for the Nyingne day, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Nyingne day. On the Nyingne day, we do not eat after midday, and then the next day is the Nyungne day, and on the Nyungne day we don't eat at all. So on the Nyingne day, you can have some breakfast, and you can have some water and tea, and after midday you don't eat, but you can have water and tea. But you can't have anything that you chew, anything like, for example, fruit or anything else that requires chewing on that day, on the Nyingne day. And then on the Nyingne day, you can do some talking, but only Dharma-related things. So you can discuss the Dharma a little bit, but no other talking. So that's tomorrow on the Nyingne day. Then tomorrow, after you go to sleep that evening, then from that moment onward, and whenever you wake up again from sleep, then the Nyungne begins the following day. On the Nyungne day, there's no talking at all, and there's also no eating or drinking at all. So that's the 6th. And then the number 7 is not sitting on high seats. The seat should not be higher, like again, kind of an L, kind of an arm's, like half an arm's length, like from your fingers to your elbow, like an arm's length. And as that. And then number 8 is no entertainment, as in there's no singing or dancing or playing any other instruments, or unless it's for making offerings, but no entertainment related singing, dancing. No wearing of jewelry or different ornaments, no perfumes or makeup, or no making yourself look nice. Nothing decorative like that. That's number 8. And so then these are the 8 precepts, the 8 vows that we need to keep. And so these vows are called the 24, and as a 24-hour vow. So for example, if you begin tomorrow at 7 in the morning, you take the precepts tomorrow at 7 in the morning, and then you take those precepts for 24 hours. So until the next day at 7 in the morning, and then you retake it. So this is how we keep the vows. So.
真的，真的演那几多，我演那几部的，真的让东三辈子，让同大三呢，你讲这你要从那，但多看来的，那的没，不什么做吧，这就偏用，特别偏用有的是，我这身边他们去从上届这么多什么当然偏用去这，偏用切个的是，然后上届去恐怕出有特别偏同有的是。
So then regarding the motivation, so if you keep those 8 precepts with the intention, with like a kind of a selfish intention, thinking about having some motive for yourself, then it will lead to rebirth in the higher realms as a god or a human, where you will gain a perfect happiness, enjoyments. But it's better to have an even a broader motivation to think of all sentient beings. If you do this practice, thinking of all sentient beings, then the practice will actually lead to enlightenment.
真的，他陈主席呢，他唐伯他中的那么中，他也那他现在是去滚到我他就滚到那真的，他是东巴浪是吧？我在东巴浪的真的老两要不送过来，什么送的啊？在别家卡拉塞呀，然后在他们的去的呢，在年巴有的新年送我们那所见是个的是，我天天说说看年的，要不好过完去呢，我在前些电波滚在你们俩这说要不。送过来是。
So then when we take the vows, we take those vows, those precepts in the presence of the Lama or Chenrezig, the deity. Do you think that before Chenrezig you're taking the vows? And then after that, it's also important to keep those vows properly. So if you lose with the vows, for example, and you're eating or talking when you shouldn't, then actually that you're creating a cause for lower rebirths. So it's important to first have a clear understanding of what those vows are, understand them well, and then be very mindful in keeping them.
真的娘是那样的，看的是那娘是那样的，他让你接连谁，他包括接连谁就这些交通接通有的话，他缺话有了，Nyungne可能缺话，我听到那看的我那在可能嘛落些的我们都的了，农工长嘛是那个吧，我听着老两去过的是，我听吧去的开清楚的是，可是他当写信嘛都那，他让接连谁，包括接连谁，让接连谁工作干不？ 写这恰也把保姆等于嘛秋季的绿色吧，其他的，这恰用把没拖干部那就送的了，真的卡起的有啊，土干的新就是土干送的有啊卡起的，没拖的要卡起的，下面不要便宜的了，他这种不些这样提这样时间那些有吧，真是都要没有了说，这种不见有吧去，天津干事干部就有吧。 我听着广播的是，这让今年是我一怎么上，我这没收通知的啦，今年是收顺通那什么的，今年是以上，我这俺给这看就嘛了，今年这蛮这种看出传统，秋军是在这军气米吧的，这军气米吧蛮传统，我这那边扎个的头绪的那，甚至一个主要扎以上，我听着去过的什么多家的，些当了说，那多年把这八帮。 这身边他们的上街，身边他们的电话店，真的东儿车， 어떤 요 상지 토바차 잠다 들을 잠도 치네 모바다 차고 잠 들을 잠네 모바치 고레스 야나 다셈 강샤나 좀 지바미 바티케 나오는 다세 차자치 뭐냐면 텐지 미 지미 효나 효레스 어때 투소소 갑탄 투바데 냠나 들으치 고레스
So then for the practice itself, so you visualize yourself as Chandrizik, with 11 faces and 1,000 arms, just according to how it is described in the Nyungne sadhana. You just follow along the visualization in the sadhana, and you visualize as you recite. So it's called a kind of recitation visualization. So you visualize as you read. And then you just cultivate like faith, and you visualize as you recite. If that is very complicated and you can't do the full visualization, then you can just visualize yourself as a white Chandrizik with one face and the right hand. The right hand is in the gesture of supreme generosity, and the left hand holds the stalk of a white flower, a white lotus flower that is fully bloomed at the heart, and the legs are standing upright, and then you're adorned with various silken ribbons and jewels, as usual. And then at your heart is a white free syllable. And just think, I truly am Chandrizik. And then also try to see all those beings around you as Chandrizik. Everything you see is Chandrizik. And every sound you hear is the six syllable mantra, Chandrizik's mantra. So try not to engage in all kinds of talking. Just focus on the recitation of the Mani mantra and perceive all sounds as the Mani mantra. And then do not entertain any negative thoughts such as desire or anger and so on. And I just remain with that, and in the end, and make a prayer and think that may all sentient beings be happy and free from suffering, and may they quickly reach enlightenment. So develop a strong intention as you do this practice. And or what you at times you can also just meditate. Just do not grasp at whatever thought, whatever arises in the mind, and just settle the mind in Mahamudra. So just try to practice according to your circumstance, whatever benefits you in the moment.
근데 튼삼 때졸라 다 가르치 거잖아. 랑제네 생고시 잠릭 섬노 마제바시. 근데 당가랑소 칼라 팅마지 사기로 네네 튀이나. 테스 사베네 칼라 세지 푸트 건조좀나 쳐바부. 근데 하마테 디제라 랑제네 생고시네 근데 다 제네 생 쳐바부 호삼사. 근데 하마 중지 샤나 된 중보통의 진바. 당고레 스테탄산네 테네 소산 다트리 칼라 팀마제 사베 네칼라 테네 가시 사톰나 사이고 쇼리 마토제키 온 디스 메소자 양자 사초 마레 와티마제 카운토토 사다테 칼리칼레 사나리 칠라자 요마와 와테 카운토토 사테 소산네 양자 소산네 디시디와 메소자 사야테 요사마레 지초쇼 사마르 되는 소차네 칼라트 카데 라파트 야보추 되는 차고로 같이 그래서 와데데 고모 파니베네 칼라 니 마송 화트랑 제란 세곰 와데니 파 파템로 되도 되는 랑클루 오 지금 고가보 소네 오 튀네 되니 캐셔탈라 제란 세 투소 셔요로 와 셔탈 샘송상 되는 셔탈자다 예 송상 되는 나파니 코토야 가시 다 전주 고함톱입니다나. 근데 샘데 도차 시다데 와 마셔 봐시네. 게베 샘다 데뱅한다니 반도 탑치 거레스.
But then for the in between sessions in the break times, so during when you're not in session, always remember Chenrezig and never separate from this awareness of I really am Chenrezig. And when you're eating, so during the Nyungne day, we are eating at midday. And so when you're eating, first, before you eat, offer the food to the three jewels. And then as you eat, you visualize yourself as Chenrezig. And so as you're eating the food, it is like making an offering to Chenrezig. And then offer a small remainder of your food to the spirits. And then also when you eat, so you have to eat in one sitting. You can eat as much as you want in this one sitting. You try to eat as much as you can, but there are no second rounds. You can take your time. There's no rush. You can like really pile up your plate and eat as much as you can. But so basically, there's no grazing. You can just sit around, wait a little bit, and then go for seconds. So you can eat as much as you can, no rush, but just all has to be in one sitting. Then after you finished eating, wash your hands, rinse your mouth, do prostration, and then you do the practice. And then in the evening before going to sleep, again, visualize yourself as Chenrezig as you fall asleep. And then I think that your body melts into a white light, which then dissolves into the white tree in your heart, and then try to fall asleep with that focus on the tree at your heart, the light of the tree at your heart. Um, and then if that is difficult, if you can't visualize all of this, then at least try to fall asleep with a virtuous mind and try not to sleep with negative thoughts of attachment, anger, or ignorance. Try to go to sleep in a virtuous state of mind.
真的，他在牛奶吃这个，我刚刚说的呀，他牛奶吃这些呢，你嘛这牛奶吃，你嘛这牛奶吃，他我做后来呢，忙些程度的，他趁机的，Saga那边吃，他可能Saga那边吃就送了哇，我就送了趁机吃，他可能趁机的我做，我趁机吃，他在我做娘们吃当提过的是啦，我在趁机吃，真的上年他年内的吃九皮了，我Saga那边吃九皮了哇，我真的这这里。我真的年年其他这些在同样这种小品的公道话，同小学的，我给他的是那小学的，那么但是什么这人工的可是啥呢？那但是什么说的可是啥呢？的晓得，然后杨家郎的啥呢？的晓得哇？那这看听嘛这面来，嘛瞧的真的嘛当这三个真的现在可以啊，听嘛这面来瞧嘛，可那瞧啥的哇？我这其实呢，
แต่มันนี่เรียนโชว์เลย
你听嘛你来瞧，但是这里样的实
哦，这是ยัง要ล้างโชว์มาดิ
嘛，这里样的美术家呢，样的是美术家的，也是呀，这有了我上下的有技巧嘛的，然后这个啥干人呢，听嘛这一来，他妈做嘛做这来了，是可惜吧？
OK，
对，真的，真的，看拉松的话，这你咱年内的话是就比了，这就是俺那牛奶的，咱牛奶这你咱看下啥球嘛，这家有球通球嘛哇，这趟咱俺让从台湾的这是开钱不差的有嘞。다 세바 되나 상제 좀 되는데 그 총이 투쟁에 라고 그래. 세바 저런 라다다 상제 좀 되는데 냥년대 바다 상제비 투쟁에 라고 다 투쟁 숨좀 세 라표로 투쟁 숨좀 세. 근데 당가도 리공가 중에 시작한 지금 좀 체니 나라 공파做了 와 되시. 나도 지난 다반에 다 남바 상제 제를 개치 뭐지 뒤나라 리공 我做个就来在开情不下的，现在俺这个从公把做不推荐起，我听着下的有了吧。
So to recap, so we are doing a set of Nyungne, which means one day Nyungne and one day Nyungne, and this is mostly how we practice it in Tibet. And so now today is the 13th day of the Dawa month, which is kind of a preparatory day where we discuss and prepare for the practice. And then tomorrow is the 14th day, which is the Nyungne day. On the Nyungne day, again, you can drink all day long. You can talk a little about Dharma. And at midday, you can eat as much as you want. Again, to clarify, although it says no seconds. So what the way we should understand it is that you can put something more on your plate, but you can't just wait around and then eat again later. So that's not allowed. So it's okay if you put more food. Basically, you take a second. So it's not that you have to pile it all up, but you can put more if you're done eating, but don't wait around and then eat more again later. So that's not allowed. So that's the one sitting for us. And then on the 15th day, the next day is the Nyungne. There's no eating at all, no drinking, and no talking. And then, so generally, this whole month of Sakadawa is a very important month, a very holy month. There are three holy general events that come together in that month. So on the 7th day of the Sakadawa month, that is the Buddha's birth. That's when the Buddha was born. Then on the 15th day, it marks both the Buddha's enlightenment and also his so first the nirvana and then the complete enlightenment. And then on the 25th day is the paranirvana of Lord Jigten Sumgön according to the Jigten Kagyu lineage. So therefore, the Sakadawa month is generally very important for all Buddhists, but especially in the Jigten Kagyu lineage, we have an added holy day because of Lord Jigten Sumgön's paranirvana on the 25th day. So this whole month is considered very sacred and very important.
근데 다 니마 당보 니모다 제년에 니모라 다 조종연라지 송그로와 와데 지과래 지상 6년이나 2년이나 제 칼라사마자 제발 같이 치면 제발면 너무 중요하다. 그래서 지과래스 어떤에 룰사 고음고래스 나나다 이 장초선 거는 니마 당보 강지 원데 나지 치고래스 어떤에 다 효과 투인다지 한테 다 루이지 바 타야 액티드 세 강야 사죠 말레스 마자와다 추티바제 양통고 말레스 추티바제 마동 어떤 융내 세련 테레스 어떤 나악트바 잡지 다야라다 담 세지 메야 게자메히 나 시체야 테레스 어떤 이지트바 정다 그 세마잉 바치네 어떤 미그램텔라 다토 초가 냠냐치야 티거나 심 제제 당된 되지네 대농아 이좀 그때바 장 초트 줘봐 차디고레스
So we starting with the first day of the Nyungne, tomorrow we need to keep those 8 precepts. And the only difference between the Nyungne and the Nyungne is in terms of the eating and the talking. But in terms of the vows, they are the same. We are keeping exactly the same vows for the Nyungne and the Nyungne. And we're also doing the exact same practice. It's just on one day you can eat and talk and drink, and the other one you can't. But the practice otherwise is the same. So we visualize our form, our body as Chenrezig. With the speech, we recite the mantra, and with the mind, we cultivate bodhicitta, starting with our first session in the morning. And then in terms of the benefits of the purpose or the reason why we don't eat and drink even a drop of water on the Nyungne day is in order to purify the obscurations of the body. And then in order to purify the obscurations of the speech, we keep silence. So we don't talk, and we just recite the mantra. And then in order to purify the obscurations of the mind, we remain undistracted with a single pointed focus on the visualization contained in the sadhana. And so it is said that this practice is a supreme method to purify the obscurations of body, speech, and mind.
근데 다세 주로니 뭐라 호세 주로니 뭐 다 살아가 말해서 프로니 뭐 키시와 나서니 제세치나 중니 살 표정 디니 뭐데 다시 뉴네 초기로 와서 내가서 당가서 좋은 장도 뭐좀 레카디 심도 와든 취소 배제 선이 되다 양대 선이 나니 대 취소 된다는 거 소야 이 쇼비 와든에 세 주로니 뭐다 쇼기 초기로 취소가 봐서 거 소. pardon, te chuso tuba sale si shana. Rikyosa, then Sasa, then Sama Sagura, Sejurula, or the Sama Sadu, Sab Purinimo is arete, Sejuru, what in your motor, that's Sama said, Rank, that's Bumamboyura, Simbijechi on the Laptrodo, or Tasopa, Dinkom Siaki, Sama Sashozam, or Tatani is Saman the Sane, console Pan talk, the Mamoba, the Ran Sanje to cook, console a choke pan talk goes on, Terusam on Sagres.
And so then the retreat then concludes on the 16th day of the Sakadawa, which is a Thursday, the 12th of June. So that's when we will end the Nyungne retreat, and we will end a little bit earlier because people may need to go to work. And so tomorrow and the next day, we will begin our first session at 7 a.m. But on the 16th, on the last day, we will start at 5 a.m. so that we can finish that last session at 7 a.m. Then people can go to work. And then after that session, so after we finish on the 16th, around 7 a.m., after that, you can eat. And when you eat during that time, bring to mind all these microorganisms, life forms in your body. They said there's 84,000 different kinds of microorganisms in your body. And I think that this food that I'm eating now may this nourish them, may this benefit them, and then also in the future, once I attain enlightenment, may I also benefit them through the Dharma.
근데 다 잠자되고 야고종 거래 심지한 담지 다 제란 세치네 고음네 모후치 거래 다 현재 동야다 현재 랑 동송야다 전담만다 동야다 계좌 독자 라비아다 담만다 용거로 와트르다스 장송나다 랑 저바서 타효 장도 그래 삼 제란 세 군네 랑 저바타야 치 텐드 나샤데 삼다 가디시에 코 마나 저바타셔 삼 텐드 삼노다 zamne tenru zamno dang gores o karsi tenru zamno dang ma to par no baji ya ma res la so no baji karsi ji sona o tene ni ja chu je da jeran sei gom ro jeran sei ten pa wa jeran sei jeram te gom ne te chi du sunen be chang da sunen de sunen chan du no sunen pe pe yong chen bo chan du no na du ne da yang te tang a ta na song chang chuo ma to wa 와르다 닝게를 만다 닝게를 봐 닝게들은 게주지면 상대 장초 성공고래 준 어디 준 탐색 이런 것도 다스리 장초 성공이야 양대 도르나 어디는 탐색이다 마대마치 심지한 노바지딘데 노세지딘 너 야보시라요 말이스 어디는 소소 딕파포노 그래스 어디는 탐색 성공고래스 어디는 다 제나세인데 성제 탐직 뭐로 어떤 좀나서 성제 탐직 로버 지나 로그리라 지나 침보요레스 어떤 제나세 닝보데 다 성제 탐직 닝보레스 어떤 인데 성제 탐직 투기 구투그레스 배장다시아나 다 송데 량제데나 송데 다 송랭이라 송랭이 텐지로 어 송테 량제데나 다 년토 자베동아 셰파 타도 그레스 Saga samse nyambege dikwa tato gure changjo sen kwa cha sha re so so ju wo tin du ta nyungne laje di na garwa hit kurwa tarya jo tin ro so gure sami nga chi dir ma je una te dikwa chang to gure te 바로 chimba chok yon ten so to gure wo te cher me do be sa te ru to bia te ru pen to yo re
And so then once we have taken those vows, we must keep those vows well, and try to see all beings, everyone as Chenrezig, with great respect and devotion. And if it happens that others harm you in any way, for example, if somebody hits you or somebody insults you or scolds you, then in that case, you should think that this is the blessing of Chenrezig, because now I'm purifying all this negative karma, these negative obscurations. I'm grateful for it. So you thank Chenrezig, you're grateful for this purification of obscurations. So you try to think in this way, but if you can't think that way, then at least don't fight back, or don't do anything that could hurt anyone else, and just keep focusing on Chenrezig throughout the practice. As you practice the generation stage, keep visualizing Chenrezig, and also you recite the long Chenrezig mantra, the Dharani mantra, and it is said that just reciting that 7 times is incredibly powerful and beneficial. So when you read these mantras, you take the vow, think that may I never separate from compassion. I will not separate from compassion. So that's really the main vow that we need to keep, the samaya, is to always maintain bodhicitta as well as we can. And having taken the vow, especially, it's important not to do anything that could harm anyone else, because that certainly will create negative karma. So it's important to keep the vows properly, and to see everyone as Chenrezig. And Chenrezig himself is the nature, the essence of all the other Buddhas. So therefore, if you practice and accomplish Chenrezig, it is like accomplishing all the other Buddhas, because he embodies them all. If you practice Chenrezig, it is like you're invoking the heart essence of all the other Buddhas. It is said that if you recite the long Dharani mantra just once, then the obscurations, was it Katsutok Dripa Katsutagare? Sorry, that's the number. Dripa Katsutagare, Sungring the Tenchik Duna.
Nyungne Leaje di Narwa, Karwa Chilin, Kurwa.
Tingola, Sungring the chicken.
Sungring Leaje Dona, Yentok Savi Dunga Shayura.
Yeah.
Samak, something young with about
Yeah. So then, if you just recite the long Dharani mantra once, then the obscurations of the root downfalls, the 14 root downfalls will become completely purified, and the 4 root vows, or the transgressions of the 4 root vows will become purified, and all the transgressions of secret mantra samaya will be purified. The imprint of bodhicitta is placed into your mind. And then if you practice Nyungne just a single time, just once, then it has the power of purifying negativities accumulated in 40,000 aeons. And it can even purify the 5 extremely negative acts. And you also will accomplish the qualities of the 6 paramitas and achieve the point, reach this point of no return.
Tene tanga zana so te nyamlen te chidu tene beja tunro shiren ka tunro ki nalam na sonen te lan jin de na muru top to ya te changcho sem tang den ba shi shung ya tunro yores tene nyungne te ta nyungwa ne be tari nge ma te la son lu yi zhe ba cha res te ma wa ji be nga zhe ba cha res yi ma yin de ba sem zhe ba cha res te nyungwa ne ba ta nyungwa ne sen khala ma za se ri do nyungwa ne be ki ye da je ke ma res 마와지 베게 톤로제게 말해스 어ත네 이 마잉반데디 테녀바제게 말해스 생년 송송네 타르게레스 어다 제나세 그루가 이좀 나라 힘이 봐 곰고셔와 어테 곰도 되는 거라다 초르투 그레스
So then it is that when if you recite the long Dharani mantra into the ear of a dying animal, and if they hear it just once, then they will be born as a precious human being endowed with bodhicitta. And as you mentioned, by practicing Nyungne with physically, we purify the physical obscurations. So we're putting our body through various like hardships, like not eating, and that purifies physical obscurations. Then remaining silent purifies the verbal speech obscurations, and not being distracted in the mind purifies the mental obscurations. And then also the vow of not eating leads to liberation from birth as a hungry spirit. Then the vow of silence liberates from birth as an animal, and non-distraction, a non-distracted mind liberates from birth in the hell realms. So this is how we are liberated from birth in the lower realms by practicing Nyungne. And so therefore practicing Chinrezig, Nyungne with body, speech, and mind, therefore purifies all obscurations and it liberates us entirely from samsara.
근데 시에가르보존 곰두텐 시베크레 드롭 투그레스 단 장크트 곰나 다 제페크레 드고스 마르볼 데 드롭나 시 마르보트 다시 람 칸도만라소라테 마르보테 와크레 드고스 나포테 차포크레 드롭 투그레스 티간다 지고바미 시제 요로와 와테 곰나 다 사주 크트나 드롭 투그레스 와테 엔두탄 트나 넘바 사주 트나 드롭 투그레스 티양데 트나 넘바가 단 조르그레스 시 사마 곰두
And then in Chinrezig, in the 11th phase Chinrezig, that we find different colors of face. And so the visualization of the white face accomplishes the pacifying, the peaceful activities. Then the green face accomplishes the karma activity, like enlightened activities. And then the red phase accomplishes the magnetizing or overpowering activities. And the black phase accomplishes the wrathful, the subduing activities. And then on top is a phase of Amitabha, and that is a sign of accomplishing the activities of the 10 bhumis, or also we call it the 5 enlightened activities, the accomplishment of the 5 activities.
근데 얘는 제란세 다 년배 신다 그래서 다 랍주는 저 삼삼아 뉴네 사르자다 지 드니 있잖아서 단 타마 지사 양은 손은 범타산 동야 다 손은 범타산 동야 깔래 커버로 디스로
Bumchigra.
범초로 범초
Bumchuk. Oh, Bumchuk.
손은 나한테 손 대답다 년배 신다 그래서我听着你别去确的没这有呢，没得别想通话堂，然后呢没先别通话堂，然后这全部这送呢，通知身边他们人送这个嘛，也是没这个在通呢，我的没提卡克朗盘中我的六这嘛中我听着，跑呢这身边这种人送这个嘛也是，别人嘛那他去就去听着了，就去听着里边去给送的，的没去通送的就在通呢，去通呢的루이츠마 포 같은 쇼나 추추된 내에 심지어나를 카리나티 녀송 타르게레스 어때네 다가서 탐세다 덴바신 드바시타 저라스 제 잠노다다 가서 다 지단이 나가서 호다 해마를 그래주 테소이나 다 사간데베나 융네 차지 있어야 뭐 흔도 다 가서 차지라고 봐 차지 테제가서 강습도 섭사치 我等于去他们那样我这车这的那别偏用上面才有了吧，我这里用的车这的那偏多进步是老松，我这是等于身边他们偏多了家上等于去过的是。
And so it is that in terms of the the number of the accumulation of Nyungne retreats and mantras, so it is said that ideally in one's life one completes 108 sets of Nyungne, or one does have 25 sets of Nyungne, or one does 8 sets of Nyungne. That's how many Nyungnes one should do. And then in terms of how many mantras one should recite, so ideally one recites 600,000 of the long Dharani mantra, which is a bit difficult because it's quite long. But that's so ideally. But it is that a person who practiced Nyungne that many times, or who completed these mantra recitations, whoever sees such a person, whoever sees that person will not be reborn in the lower realms. Or if that person goes on to a mountain peak, and then whoever sees them from there, any being will not take birth in the lower realms. And it is said that even if one is touched by the breath coming from their mouth, or one smells their body scent, the bodily scent, uh, one will not go into the lower realms. Or even if one kind of walks, one comes into contact with their shadow. So when they walk by and their shadow crosses you, if their shadow crosses you, it is said that that person will also be liberated from birth in the lower realm. So we can see the immense benefits of this practice, and therefore we should really do our best to keep our vow, our samaya, as well as we can. So now in the Tibetan tradition, in the Himalayan region, we do practice the Nyungne during the Sakadawa month in as a set of eight, so eight sets of Nyungne in a row. That's the tradition. So now, right here, we're just doing one set of Nyungne. But we mentioned before also that just doing it once has incredible benefits. So we should therefore make the best of our one set of Nyungne and really try to practice as well as we can, and with the intention to benefit all sentient beings.
근데 가서 니들이나 사님아 비바키야 안다 된도 치기로와 된다 자다 치요만 다 융내는 제당 사간다와 개친 보이사리 개노마 뱀모 사간다와 세종 알아 상지로 와텐데 디주바트로 와가랑서 와텐데 됐다 제 평용 타로 치어 사례한테 가상가서 된도 치샤로 와가서 다제 호당 회마를 그래도 저도 다제 자 사님아 비바시라도 그 말한테 제 사간다와도 와텐 치기로와
Mm. Normally, when we make a program, we're trying to schedule our programs for the weekend, for Saturday and Sunday, but we didn't do that for the Nyungne, and that's because the Sakadawa is a very special time, and we want to really follow the tradition and practice exactly on that day. And so on the 15th day of the Sakadawa month is when Gelongwa Parmo had attained enlightenment, and that is the lineage that we follow. And so that's why we didn't plan for having this retreat at a convenient time on a weekend, but we wanted to schedule it exactly around those holy days. And this is also how we do it in Tibet, in the Himalayan region. In Tibet or in the Himalayan region, we are not thinking in terms of when it's Saturday or Sunday or convenient, but we are really basing the practice on those special days or those special timings.
근데 다다 융내 폐용해서 가래송에서 남아 고마다 융내 주베 남아 여러 남아 고마다서 폐용 들좀 요래스 제가 나交通监督局今天是交通监督局这说呢我들좀 요래스我这人对真的在那让说这说他娘们要我去过来种多
Those benefits of the Nyungne practice are explained by their lineage gurus of the past, and they are also explained in the tantras, like the 1,000-armed Chinrisic tantra. And so now we have heard of those benefits, and now we should do our best to practice properly. Yes.
我真的吃完了用得到呢这个是
Do you have any questions?
태 민나 다양한 소 마동 샤나로와 다다 전지 진도마 진도야 여러와
If not, then we will start with the first recitations.
야 오케이 매고 방
Is there any kind of, you haven't mentioned it, so I'm thinking not, but just like showering or that feels so luxurious? Is there no showering or nothing like that in the end of the first or second day, or does that matter?
투자 초르스베
추잡 저거를 그냥
出家呢，这
다시
个，
알았어.
这当吹的脏着过了，老太出家呢，那这当前军中是吧？
Mm. Yeah, so you can take a shower, and in fact, you should, because it is there. It is the action tantra, the Kriya tantra, and there is an emphasis on outer physical hygiene.
啊，真的，it's okay。呀，那他呀
I had a question, if it's okay to ask.
呀 OK，
So, I've been doing Nyungne for quite a while now, and I have moved on to another practice, but I still do these Nyungne retreats when Chicago Retnishri organizes them, because I have a lot of a feeling for it and devotion. But I have gotten into the practice of taking the Sojung vows and not doing the actual sadhana. Like I do a different, deity practice. And, under the advice of my Lama, he said, traditionally speaking, you're supposed to take all 8 vows. And to be quite frank, one of the reasons I can't take all 8 vows, especially the eating one, but because of health reasons. But I have found that in some ways, I need the no distraction, no entertainment vow, because I've found that I have a very big issue with phones and I want to live distraction free. However, I'm not entirely sure this is proper, but I will be very honest and direct and say that the Sojung vows as a practice for myself personally is something I need. And I wanted to ask Drupal if this is appropriate or if I should do something different, but I honestly don't know what alternative I have.
Colors，
뭐다 디뉴네 냐면 시냐다 엠마 mambo 냐면 제자리 라파도 캔소 초초라
네，
다지 세베갑라
네，
에네 남게 뭐 냐면 셴바리 체게도
어，
드니 참선 문유나 기 돈바디 렘베갑라 드니 돈바 랭게도 바도 드니 초가 두타 참아 동게 요 말이 동게 메스타파 드니 돈바 나네 양 참아 랭게 메스타파 갈라바도 디 사마 마사바 데 참자 카포를 칸이스나 트르든 라 모디선 나차리 유사리 데니 사마 마사나 데니 데사 데토케 유사마리 예나양 돈바카시양 베 모인지면 주고고도 베나 디 베나 카르마 타브 쉐마 돈디 마옌와데라 디베 고도 칸이스나 디베 기운 전부도 다 거야 데니 디 인지면 쟁알랭 고고도 데 예나양 다 차 장마라고 다 돈바게 차마양 말레나 드니 초가 차차양 다바 마더나 다 카티나 다타나 라크스 마라 남균 돈바치 폴레나 드니 돈바 카셸레나 드니 치나 초거를 왜 드니 남균이 뭐 냠는 나 돈바렌 드니 냠는 셴바라 쉐기 요사라
啊那，我真的，他这里这当前两年嘛，忙不对了，我昨天没在还回过去了吧？啊，真的，这当天他用年电的去东北特朗山，这让你们去那样的什么东西什么呢？啊，他们在他先把去那大家这些讲不什么多，什么多，真的在唐波特里，你看东北真的东北特两个人是。这上万嘛是这批民呢，前两年去的那里，用的蛮艰难这个什么多。我咱用的等那些东北真的两个嘛，这嘛多这个个，俺用的听着东北开心呢，开心嘛呢，听着听啊是啦，托嘛用可嘛用下，等个那就起巧了，就拉些什么都是吧。
So Ruben says he knows you've done many Nyungnes because we have done many Nyungnes together here. So you're familiar with the practice. And so when you're here for a Nyungne and you take the Nyungne vows, the Sojong vows, then it's better to just really fully commit to that and just do this practice and no other practice during that time. And not do anything else during that time, but not for the vows. So you said that you need to eat for health reason. So if that's the case, then you can just take the Nyungne vows and not the Nyungne. So you just take the Nyungne vows and not the Nyungne vows, because for the Nyungne vows you can eat once. So you would still just eat once. So you would eat at midday, but you just do the Nyungne instead of the Nyungne. So you can do that, but other than that, if you think you just want to take some of the vows but may skip some other vows, so that's probably not really advisable. I've never heard that it being done that way, so I cannot really recommend that.
Yeah.
Can we go on walks to the park or like do yoga, asana, or these things?
So if you have time, you can, but to be honest, I don't think we will have a lot of time for that. And still, if you go, you still have to keep silence.
야, 다른 사례, 다양한 가서 뒤서 싫어요. 말도 전지 치기로와. 전에 다 이나라 두 개씩 다 지나 봐면서 자는 릭사 말해.
So,
야, 네.
so then then we stop here and we start with the practice, because we still have to go through some sadhana today.
야, 오케이. 전에 내 요에 대지 시야시야. 또 막하라. 그냥 내가 어디 있어지매. You have need checks? We have that. Yeah, okay. 전에 너만 샤나. 내가 너잖아. 수샤. 야, 전에 당 가서 내 인치 통도야 있어.
You recite in English.
Om Begane Da Cheda Pumpi Oman Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha.
From the state of emptiness appears an Om, from which manifests a vast and extensive jeweled vessel. The Om Ahum therein dissolve into light, giving rise to divine substances that comprise the Torma, arousing the extraordinary bliss void of outflow, limpid and unobstructed. The Torma becomes equal to the extent of space. Om Akara Mukha Sarva
Dharmana Ade Nuvena Dudan Om Ahum Pi Bhava.
Om Akara
Kama Sarva Dharmana Ade Nuvena Dudan Ahum Pi Soha. Agaro Mukama Sarva Dharmana Ade Nuvena Dudan Ahum Pi Soha.
Homage to transcendent victor, Tathagata manifold jewels. Homage to Tathagata sublime lovely form. Homage to Tathagata infinite forms. Homage to Tathagata utterly free from all fear. Namo
Sarva Tathagata Avalokit. Namo Sambara Sambara Ho. Namo Sarva Tathagata Avalokit. Namo Sambara Sambara Ho. Namo Sarva Tathagata Avalokit. Om Sambara Sambara Ho.
Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. This vast torma of offerings and alms, which serves as the basis of offering and dedication, I give to the 10 directional guards, 4 great kings, 8 great gods, 8 great Nagas, 8 great planetary spirits, 28 goddesses of the constellations, 75 glorious protectors of the pure abodes, the heroes, skyfarers, directional guards, local guards, and the hosts of Dakinis who dwell in the 24 sacred lands, 32 holy sites, 8 great charnel grounds, and so forth. As you have accepted this vast form of offering and alms from the beginning until we emerge at the end of this great accomplishment practice, let no inner accomplishment out. Let no outer obstacle in. Engage the activities that thoroughly pacify all circumstances, inner and outer adversity and obstacles. May masses of desirables, all of them whatever suits you, rise without obstruction throughout this entire worldly realm for your directional guards. Homage to Transcendent Victor, Tathagata Manifold Jewels, homage to Tathagata Sublime Lovely Form, homage to Tathagata Infinite Forms, homage to Tathagata Utterly Free of all fear. Nama Saga Tathagata Avalokiteshvara Om Sambara Sambara Nama Sarva Tathagata Jana Avalokite Om Sambara Sambara Nama Sarva Tathagata Jana Avalokite Om Sambara Sambara Agaro Mukama Sarva Dharmana Adine Venetuta Om Ahum Soha Agaro Mukama Sarva Dharmana Adine Venetuta Om Ahum Soha Agaro Mukama Sarva Dharmana This vast torma of offerings and alms, which serves as the basis for offering and dedication, is given to earth lords, fixed earth goddesses, and the earth bearer with 2 great hands, who serves as their sovereign. Earth lords in the 3 districts of Nagari in the west, the 4 divisions of Utsang in the middle, the 6 ranges of Amdo and Kam in the east, the 9 creator gods, the king's 13 protective gods, the 12 place-reliant goddesses who sustain Tibet and Kam, the 21 Upasakas, earth lords in the 7 golden mountains, the 7 amusement lakes, Lake Manasarovar, Kailash, Upper Sari, Lapchituba, Father Ore Gungyo, Mother Pema Shangu, the Dharma Lord's great Upasaka, Mount Barla with its gods, Mount Sogra with its mighties, Chumben with its Nagas, Terdam with Amrita, Mount Sonya's white Vijaya. Earth lords of that mountain over there to the right, of this one over here to the left, of rising trees and falling waters, the road-dwelling place lords and landlords who truly delight in the things of virtue, very powerful gods and Nagas, and all who dwell in lofty sky and lowly earth. As you have accepted this vast torma of offering and alms, may we yogic practitioners, master and disciples, not be delayed when we go. May we not be moved when we sit. Arrange sustenance, patronage support, dispel adversity, accomplish favorable conditions. Cause our friends harmonious with Dharma to be stable. May masses of desirables, all of them being whatever suits you, arise without obstruction through this entire worldly realm for you landlords, gods, and Nagas. Homage and praise to the foe of obstructors, deity who grants each and every attainment, who truly resounds with Holden's fearsome sound and conquers all hindrance without exception. Whom, when even the insentient is summoned, what need is there to mention the sentient? When even the bodiless are summoned, what need is there even to mention the embodied? Harm-doing elementals be drawn to this place. Tahiraja, Humja, even if there be past karmic credits and 80,000 kind of obstructors arisen from delusive thought, let them be satisfied by the torma of offering and alms. Namo, I invoke the truth of the glorious holy gurus, venerable root and lineage masters, the Buddha's truth, the Dharma's truth, the Sangha's truth, the truths of secret mantra, knowledge mantras, retaining mantras, essence mantras, mudras, and concentration of oath-bound Dharma-protecting guardians who await orders. Through the blessed power and might of these great truths, all of you hosts of obstructors and elementals who abide in the three planes of existence, under, upon, or above the earth, come here to take the torma. Takiraja Humja.
Nam Om Gong Gare Soha Om Bete Soha Om Gong Soha Sabare Vare Nama Sarva Tata Bejom Gede Sarva Taka Mugade Parana Emangavana Gam Soha Om Gong Gare Soha Om Bete Soha Om Gong Soha Sabare Vare Nama Sarva Tata Gagabya Mukebe Sarva Taka Gade Saparana Imangavana Kam Soha Gungari Soha Om Bete Soha Om Gong Soha Sabari Vare Nama Sarva Tata Gagabya Sarva Taka Mugade Saparana Imangavana Kam Soha. This vast torma of offerings and alms, which serves as the basis for offering and dedication, is given as alms to the 80,000 kind of obstructors, principal among whom is Vinayaka, king of obstructors. The 15 great demons of children, male demons, the kinglies, female demons, the friendlies, gambling elementals, life thieves, phantoms who lie in wait of life force, lords of sickness, lords of contagion, harm-doing elementals, demons of loss and needy spirits. From today onward, may all evil thoughts of ill will, cruelty, and injury be past. Thus may you be kindly, peaceful, disciplined, and endowed with bodhicitta. Whatever night rovers, elementals, and carnivores, rakshasas who eat flesh, various kinds of sentient ones, dwellers in tree branches and elsewhere, such ones as you be satisfied with these offerings. The torma, food and drink of meat and beer with turnips, cooked rice, and manifold fruit. Thus may ill will be pacified. From today onwards, give rise to kindly attitudes toward us. Engage spiritual activities like being adorned with ornaments. Disciplined and perfectly restrained, live purely. Abstaining from harming everyone, you elementals are no different than the fully ordained novices or even Brahmins. No one at all is invulnerable to weapons, so completely shun the vital essences of the living. Taking your own bodies as examples, do no harm to others. Om, minutely dispel the influence afflicting the bodies of those great or small. You evil spirits, depart to your own abodes.
Saga Bignan Gasha.
Nyungne tracks. Page number 6. Jeren se wan ge lo ma be mo sun ja na dan zen ja gu ma ra pe nya wa dan da wa jan sen dan ni po sun dong du je ja shang dong zhan jin ken bo zin du wa de wa jian ba ke ba chu zang ba Shera Bonda Jase Tome Sha Nya Chen So Wan So Nan Sam Bo Tang So Nam Dar Je So Nan Ja Su Sha Cha Pa So Nan Kun Ga Cho Ru Dang Jang Gong Zhu Cho Do Rin Zhu Wen Gong Hare Chen Jasu Yeshe Jasu Sha Lo Dru Nam Jar Nga Wan Che Le Tang Gu Ga Wan Bu Se Wan Nur Bu Sha Che Le Xing Da Ga Ma Gun Cha Ba Ju Pie Sang Bu Bi Mi Jan Se Sha Ma Men Ze Tu Je Nye Ma Dang Che Ni Nur Bu Pan Den Gar Chen Ba Chu Je Lo Zhu Xie Bei Lo Zhu So Za Ju Pan Den Lam Ma Sur Wan Den Chen Ha Ni Ju So Jung Ta Ru Chi Jian Zuo Nian Jiu Nam De Zhu Shuo Na Sen Shuo Le Zhu Tar Wei Ju Shu Shu. This video page Tamina lagi mana tu sih lah main je marah ini dah. Dia video page 372 this video 他这能有几码的，现在是忙上他这些呢。把这个车架能写起要是有几码的。maybe English okay 372 page 372 you have blue yeah maybe 当然蛮多，也是长蛮长的。yeah maybe this okay
72, the aspiration of alpha to develop.
现在是我们。这蛮多的。呀，他这说啊，我做你们看上拍一部英国这个啊，吃了挺长时间什么难度就多啊。
Aspiration of Allah Kitab. Okay, aspiration.
Okay. You, the wisdom and kindness of all Sugatas of the 3 times gathered as one, the Nirmanakaya blessed by Amitabha, whose aspirations, activity, and compassion are supreme, and all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, disciples, and Arhats, all Yidams and Dharmapalas, all of the 3 jewels, the great refuges, for being's benefit, assembly of great compassion, all you whom I worship, as numerous as the particles in all realms, witness my benevolent aspirations so that they may be fulfilled. Life will end for me, for my friends, family, and disciples, for those with faith, for living or dead, for those hoping for freedom and happiness, for those who have done so much for me. Life will end for donors, for those who've worked on my land or in my home, for who serve me food, clothing, drink, or necessities with their three gates, for those beings killed for my food, those I have killed in order to live, those I have menaced or robbed out of desire. Life will end for those who've helped me, for those who've harmed me, and those in between, and also all those who've seen, heard, thought of, or touched me, and all to the three realms connected to me in any way. At that time we will enter the presence of Yama, the Lord of Death. All alone will regret the wrong we've done. At that time may we recognize the Bardo's appearances to be illusory and avoid the obstacles of a bad death. Receive us upon our transference, Avalokita. Then the appearances of the Bardo may arise, when everything we see appears like an enemy, like a straight staff on a crooked road. Be our inseparable guide, Avalokita. Through passion and anger we will see bad places as good. When everything we see stimulates passion, close the door to lower states in the islands of Rakshasas. Return us to the wealth of leisure and resources, Avalokita. When beings are turned in hot or cold hells, cooked or burned by unbearable, terrifying fire, rain down the water of grace and the camphor of compassion. Put out the fire of anger, Avalokita. Some in the realm of hungry ghosts, lacking food and drink, eat fire and weapons through hunger. Satisfy them with a stream of love from the palm of your hand. With your fingers untie the knot of their greed, Avalokita. Some eat one another as animals. They are enslaved and killed for their flesh and hide. In the darkness of their dense bewilderment, light the torch of pristine wisdom, Avalokita. Some in the realm of demigods suffer powerlessly through war, fighting, and quarreling. With the great, cool, shady mountain of equality, block the wind of jealousy, Avalokita. Some in the Deva abodes are distracted by wealth and pleasure. They lose track of the passing years, die and fall downward. With the wondrous ship of your compassion, rescue them from the water of desire, Avalokita. Humans are swept away by the four rivers of birth, old age, sickness, and death into the ocean of the three sufferings. They're buffeted by the waves of dualism. Grab them with the hook of your compassion, Avalokita. The children born to the parents of self-fixation squeeze into the armor of dualism. They attack others with the weapons of the five poisons. Turn Maras to Dharma, Avalokita. May my slight suffering take the place of the enormous suffering. We are like flies drawn to filth. Seeing samsara as pleasurable, we busily use our three gates to create suffering and our meaningless activity, Avalokita. May we all gain bodies capable of Dharma and follow and venerate a qualified spiritual friend. May our beings be ripened by his instructions. Give us the certainty that he is a Buddha, Avalokita. Through hearing, may we learn indicative and definitive Dharma. Through contemplation, may we achieve shamatha and vipassana. Through meditation, may we realize the view beyond extremes. Return us to our mother, our mind's nature, Avalokita. May renunciation plant the seed of morality. May the shoots of altruistic bodhicitta grow. From them may there appear the colorful flowers of secret mantras, generation and completion. Give rise to the fruition of the three trainings, Avalokita. Choose actions that will cause the right results and gather the two accumulations through the six transcendences. Sever our ambition for greatness and fame. Cut the tight bonds of our craving for the eight mundane dharmas, Avalokita. Having transcended all misapprehensions through the levels and paths, may we achieve manifest Buddhahood, all defects abandoned and all qualities perfectly present. Through Nirmanakayas, may we spontaneously benefit beings, Avalokita. I will not become a Buddha until my parents and all beings in samsara including all those connected to me in good or bad ways, have achieved Buddhahood. May I benefit them as you do, Avalokita. Having strayed from the path through ignorance, they are oppressed by suffering and hard to tame. They were not tamed by previous Buddhas. May I give rise to an even greater resolve to tame such beings than that of the Buddhas of the 3 times, Avalokita. May my slight suffering take the place of the enormous sufferings of all beings. May I offer my virtues in abundance to all beings. For that purpose, may I have the courage to give up my own life, Avalokita. May I always be impartial toward all beings of all ranks. May anger, which like a vicious poisonous snake harms others both directly and indirectly, be purified. Cause me to be liberated, Avalokita. May I and others always be altruistic. May the thought of our own peace and happiness not arise for even an instant. If through wrongdoing we are born in a place without Dharma, cause us to pass to a place with Dharma, Avalokita. Through the truth of the pure Dharmadhatu, the undeceiving 3 jewels, the rishis, the gods, and all the benevolent virtue of samsara and nirvana, may these aspirations be quickly fulfilled without difficulty, Avalokita. May this become a cause of our being cared for in all our lives by the glorious Guru, the Sattagatas of the 3 times, and you, Padmapani. Bring this about quickly, Avalokita.
Yeah, okay. O manu be me hore. O manu be me hore. O manu be me hore. Om manu be me hore. Ge wan de nyor tu da jeren si. Drop jorne drova je nyam malu ba the sala go bara. Page 30. Page 30. 30. 1 3. Yeah, Lord Jikan Song this study 30. 1 3.
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Edams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and assembly of Dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all sentient beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise within my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. Even at death, may the torment of suffering not arise. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and in the pervasive clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Yeah, okay, thank you. In a way. Oh, yeah, that took tomorrow, 7 o'clock, beginning. Yeah, okay, good night.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Làm gì thì mới mong muốn stock cái này không ra nhiều sao thì. Chứ đó, đối với giờ rất là chán sẽ thông chuyện, cái đối với gì thôi. I think you say yoga, no need.